Hey guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. I want to welcome you back to the channel, and today we're going to be reviewing a Corgi. I'm just kidding. Actually, today we're going to go ahead and do an unboxing, assembly, and test of the George Foreman grill. This is the model GFO240S. My wife and I bought this online from Target.com. I think we paid $66.82 before tax, and I think that they're clearancing these out, or maybe there's a new model that's coming out. I've actually got some experience with this grill, but let's go ahead and get it out of the box and show you what the assembly's like, and we'll do some cooking with it and just talk about the unit in general. So there's two reasons why we went ahead and bought this grill. My wife and I recently moved into an apartment with a smaller patio, and we didn't want to take up the room that a giant propane grill was going to take up. And also my grandmother's had one of these for about the last 7 or 8 years, and we use it all the time. And it's always worked really well, easy to clean up and so on. So real quick, let's go through all the different features that you get with this model if you pick it up, and we'll go from there. So it is an electric grill, which means you've got no charcoal, no propane, no flare-ups. You have 240 square inches, and we get probably close to 12 to 14 quarter-pounder patties on there when we cook with it. We can usually get about 6 to 8 pretty good-sized T-bones on there too. Looks like Ammo Cat wants to be the star. Lose the fat, not the taste. It does have like a little, this is a different design for my grandma's. There's a little hole down the center of the tray, and the grease is going to run off into this collecting tray, which I think this either slides underneath or it sits right here so you can see it. Hers has a tray that's underneath the cooking area, and you would take that little tray out, dump the grease, you know, put some foil back in it, put it back, and you can keep cooking. And all that grease basically just runs off into the tray. Let's see, non-stick coating. The coating is very durable. We've only cleaned it with warm soapy water like some Dawn and just a non-abrasive scrub you've had in the sink. It's always come clean. The key on this is to drop some wet paper towels on it as soon as you get done cooking. As soon as you take your food off, it'll start steaming, and then just kind of rub off the grates. They're going to be really hot, but that'll get the baked on, charred on residue, and then after that, when you put it in the sink, it's a piece of cake to clean up. So it takes like 30 seconds to do this after you're done cooking, and then you can start the cleanup process later on. Variable temperature control, I think it's like a 1 through 5 or 1 through 7. It does get really hot. The only thing about this is that you can have some hot zones, and I've actually got an infrared thermal gun. We're going to take some readings and see if there's any differences in the surface temperature, because it seems like on hers, there's a few zones that can be a little bit warmer than others. Outdoors and indoors, I have not cooked with it indoors. It can produce a lot of steam. It can charge just a little bit, so you can get some smoke. I'd just say for safety's sake, just go ahead and do it outdoors, although you're not really looking at like a carbon monoxide issue or anything like that. And a removable stand, which we've only used it with the stand. We've never had it blow over or anything like that, but she does store it in the garage when she's done using it, and it's really held up really well. Never had any problems with it at all. So let's go ahead and show you the actual assembly process of this grill, and then we'll put it to work and see what it does. Okay, let's go ahead and see what's in the box here as we open it up. And I'm not sure exactly what the warranty is on it. It's probably going to be a year, but I don't think I've ever actually worn out a George Foreman product, to be honest with you. I had the little tabletop grill when I was in college. I had 2 different sizes, actually. Okay, everything is well packed. Up in the top here, you're probably going to guess this is probably 1,200 to 1,500 watts, just so you know, in case you guys might be campers or RV folk out there. So looks like we're going to have to put the legs together here. No problems. Let's go ahead and get the unit out. It is a nice steel lid that comes with it. All right, so this has a pretty good sized cooking area to it. And I think I might have been wrong about that. Those are either the feet or the handles that we just pulled out of the box initially, so we'll just set those off to the side. I doubt the assembly is going to take much more than maybe a screwdriver. So the cooking surface itself is very, very similar to like a non-stick pan. And again, you might want to run this thing one time and then give it a, soap it off and clean it before you use it the first time, and then maybe get it nice and hot, then cool down, and then use it the first time. Let some of that finishing kind of bake off of it. Yeah, this is a much different design, much more modern design than what the family currently has at this time. Okay, so we got a few parts in here. Looks like a little rubber foot popped off there. Get out of there. All are coming off. Okay. Okay, here's your bracket that your post is going to go through. It's the actual powering unit itself. Let's see if it's a 2-prong or 3-prong. Okay, it is a 3-prong, so it is going to be grounded. So keep that in mind if you buy one of these. Kind of like the old skillet pans from back in the day. Okay, that's your heating unit, or your power source for the heating unit. You've got the coils underneath here that heat up everything. I think what we'll do is go ahead and just plug it in and then just take some temperature readings and see what it does, and we'll go from there. Okay, so a few more features I'm going to show off here. This is the metal lid. Nice and sturdy, came packed well, no dents or dings in it. I think it's just like an aluminum, but it's fairly sturdy. Feels fairly like it can take a little bit of abuse. Gonna need a Phillips head screwdriver so you can screw the handle on the lid. And then the drip tray is pretty convenient. This is pretty good size. You could either have a grease can to dump this into, or you could line this with foil and pull the foil out and throw that away if you want to. Let's see, dishwasher safe, use top rack only. So that's good because this is where all the drippings are gonna go when it's cooking. And in the cooking surface itself, you've got a catch right here. It's kind of like a ramp, and it goes down into these two holes, and it's gonna catch down there all the grease that runs off of the stuff that you're cooking. All right, okay, now let's go ahead and plug it in and check it out. Okay guys, so I've had it on high for about 5 minutes now, and it is, I looked at the bottom of the unit. It does say that it draws 1600 watts, so keep that in mind. It has not popped the breaker yet on my socket, but just be careful if you put anything around it that can melt. You want to be very, very careful where you use it. Make sure you use it in a nice open area. Maybe not so much for the fumes and the smoke as just the heat that's coming off of it. So real quick, let's just get some temperature readings and see how it does. So over here by the dial, we're looking at, it says high. It's actually out of the temperature range of my my heat gun. Okay, 433 degrees, 461. Okay, that says high. Must be close to maybe 475 or 500. Okay, it's also saying high. Let's back up a little bit here. Yeah, I can't even get a reading because it's so hot. So we're going to say it's over 400 degrees according to the thermal gun, 433. Yeah, so it does get pretty warm all the way across the board. So we're going to let this cool down. We're going to show you how to put it together, and then we're going to cook some burgers on it. Okay, so first step in the assembly here. You want to take the two pieces of the tube. You've got a tube that has a bolt in it and a tube that is threaded. All you have to do is just screw these two pieces together. Okay, there you go. Make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, it's nice and secure. Okay, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and take your pedestal base and go ahead and snap the pedestal feet in. They should click. You can, if you ever need to remove them for whatever reason, there's a little tiny tab right there that you can press to make it easier for you, but go ahead and snap those into place. It does have a nice solid base to it, so it shouldn't blow over, but again, you might want to put it someplace secure, especially if you live in a really windy area. There we go. Okay, that's all set. Okay, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and take the slotted end of the tube here and just go ahead and put that into the base itself. There you go. It's going to just basically get nice and snug and snap into place. Okay, so here's the actual pole itself that the grill is going to mount to. On the top of the pole, you've got a couple little notches that are cut out right here. Okay. These little notches right here, they're going to fit into like some pegs that are underneath the grill. You're going to see it when you put it down, and we'll put the camera up underneath so you can see that. And then this little wire bracket right here is going to hook onto the flared tray that's underneath the cooking area. So it is going to be fairly secure once it goes together. Okay, so just go ahead and take the grill unit itself and just go ahead and sit it in there through the mounting hole, and it should lock into place here. Here we go. It should snap right into place underneath there for you. And then this little guy right here, you're going to want to clip it on the tray. It's just going to snap right on there and go into place. And then that time, anytime you want to take it indoors, you just go ahead and snip this off, and then, or just flip it off and just lift the unit right off. And then there's some rubber feet underneath too for when you're sitting it on your countertop indoors. Okay, then just go ahead and take your drip tray. There it is. And just go ahead and slide it in. And there's a couple little spring clips underneath here that are going to keep it locked into place so that it doesn't fall out. You just kind of push it in until it locks, and that's pretty much it. It's going to stick out just a little tiny bit, but not much. One thing about this unit, I mean, I'm going to measure this real quick, but I think it's probably less than 36 inches high. So you're going to be hunching over quite a bit when you're doing your cooking. So if you're somebody that's got some back problems, and I'm serious, you might want to just take that into consideration, especially if you're going to be standing over this thing for any length of time. Okay, actual height of the unit itself, we're looking at basically 30 inches from the top of the cooking surface down to the bottom of the ground. And just height, in case you're curious, with the lid on, I guess for storage reasons. And by the way, they do make a cover you can get for this that you can use if you're going to be storing it outdoors or if you're in rainy conditions. We're looking at about, just kind of from the side, 39, 40 inches tall total. So that's going to give you an idea if you need to transport it or store it. And before we start cooking, there's one thing I forgot to mention. The actual radius of your cooking surface is 17 inches, and the unit from one side of the handle to the other is 22 inches. It is obviously going to stick out a little bit further on the left-hand side because of your power supply. And that power supply has 5 different settings, but you don't really know what the temperature is. You just kind of have to wing it. I know in the wintertime when I cook with this thing, I crank it up to 5 and then throw the burgers on and turn it down to like a 4 or 3, and they get a nice sear on them. But obviously it's going to vary depending on the time of the year and what you're cooking. Okay, so here is what we are cooking today. These are Cattleman's Ranch Black Angus unseasoned 6 beef patties. These are 1/3 pound patties, 2 pound package. I get these at Costco. So if you buy these, and then here's the area that they take up. Pretty good sized patties. Probably get another 6 on there. It'd be close, but you can have almost a dozen. And I've got it turned up to 4 right now, so you can see how it cooks. One thing about this that you really got to keep an eye on is the grease splattering. It's definitely going to come back at you. So if you start to cook like bratwurst on here or anything that really gets greasy, you're probably going to have to change your t-shirt and watch out for getting grease splatters on your shorts or pants. So just keep that in mind if you're cooking a lot of food on here. That's something I always seem to run into. One con about it, but otherwise, it's running pretty good right now. We'll see what the end result looks like when we're all done cooking. So I'm going to stand back just a little bit so I don't get grease all over the front of the lens here in the camera. But you definitely have some hot zones, like towards the center there. I flipped it over, you notice there's like no griddle marks on it, no searing, but you do have those nice grill marks on it. You can start to see the grease going down that channel down the middle. It just kind of naturally makes its way towards the center, and then it goes into the grease trap. Unfortunately, was not able to line the grease trap with foil. It wouldn't simply fit with the way that the clips are set up on it, which is fine. I can just pour it into a grease can and wash it out. So, but as you can see, cooking is not a problem. This is about 8 minutes on one side, then I flip them over, and I'll be checking the temperature here in a little bit. But it does work really well. Again, non-stick surface. It should work well with salmon, other kinds of meats or vegetables. You don't have to put any kind of non-stick spray on it at all. One little con about it, it's a large cooking area, so you gotta have a pretty decent sized sink to clean it up when you get done, so just keep that in mind too. Alright, let's bring it back for just a few final words. So in the end, we're very happy with it. It made some great burgers and we are full, and now I just gotta work on the cleanup. So what I did as soon as I was done cooking them, and you're gonna get splattered all over you, but it does make cleanup easier, so I took some fairly wet paper towels and kind of squeezed out some of the water and just started pushing stuff from one side all the way down into the tank into the little catch over here, and it really did make it much easier. Now once this is cool off, I'm just going to put it in the sink, hit it with some warm soapy water, let it dry, and it's ready to go. So that's it, guys. That is my take on the George Foreman grill, okay, the indoor-outdoor patio grill. Guys, if you like what you see, please like or subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also find me over on Gunstreamer and UGEtube. But in the meantime, he's looking for some little scraps there. In the meantime, guys, I want you all to have fun, be safe, make sure you like and subscribe, and as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care and have a good one. Bye-bye.